So when pointing the beam, I like to actually sometimes use Google Earth. Now, I used to, before Google Earth, when I was actually doing this and pointing beams in certain directions, I actually would get this out on paper maps and have it all worked out and have it relative to the direction of my street. That's always a good line to go with, is the direction of your street. Work out which way your street is, roughly what angle it is, and use all your directions relative to that. So my street, if I grab this here, is probably about there somewhere. So now this line here that I've got going across here is actually, that's going to Mount Giannini. Now, that's not where RSB is. RSB is actually up here somewhere. So what we can do is we can create a path, which I can do with this tool here. Where are we? Path tool. Now it's actually come up on a different screen. Here's the actual Google Earth dialog box that comes up, but we don't need that. We'll get it out of the way. What we're going to do is we're going to start the path roughly here. We're going to run it to, and I believe RSB is around here somewhere. So we've got a direction. So here we are back outside, and I've got that sort of parallel with the roof. Now, move it a little bit that way, and I reckon that's probably about what we want. So as you can see, it's actually clear of the roof. Alright, so what has been for you half a second has been an hour for me, waiting for a plane, and it looks like the plane that we have here, now this keeps disappearing all the time, but it's an A330, so it's a fairly large plane, it's telling me, and it looks like it's actually going to cross that path, so we'll get this going again. Now what I've done is, in the intermediate time I've been playing around with this a little bit. I'll switch this back on and put in the password. Alright. So I've set this up for USB because I found out, clicking back here, that our beacon is FSK, so it's likely to have two frequencies now that are bouncing around. Now, I don't know if this FSK is DFCW also, as well as FSK, DFCW being dual frequency CW, but we'll definitely find out. That's the frequency that we had before that we're looking at. And I'm guessing we're looking around here for our frequencies, our two frequencies. I don't even know how far these frequencies are apart. So we're now in the purple. Let's see if we can get something. Let's turn that gain back up. Get that noise floor up. Thank you. Alright, so we might have something here. That'll be, what's that, 500 hertz up. But I don't see much else. Let's take the cursor off that because it sort of greys it out a bit. We've still got this frequency here, but it's not getting any stronger. What do we got here? So we're just about to cross the path here. I would expect to see something at least. It's not that far. We are listening. And we should, hopefully, and this is it, that's if this is accurate as well. We're not seeing any real improvement in audio. I'm not hearing anything hidden away in the sound. I've turned the volume up a little bit in my headphones. This does stick out a little bit here, every now and then, but it's not really enough to say that there's a signal there. Alright, our aircraft is about to leave. It is at the top of the altitude and it is close to the actual beacon. And I'm just not getting anything. It's a little disappointing. This is what I want to be able to prove that this works, because once I can prove that this works, that I can get it to work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip the whole thing down and I'm going to set up HF and I'm going to start playing around with maybe Whisper and things like that on HF. I haven't got my RTL SDR to work on HF, but it would be nice to at least get something happening on HF. Alright, I would say that this aircraft has moved out of range. Yep, there we go. We're still picking up bits of noise around here, which makes me think that it's probably not so much aircraft, it's just local noise. So we didn't pick up a thing. I don't know if that's the RTL SDR's not sensitive enough. If there's too much noise, it's bringing the sensitivity down within that bandwidth, because you've got to remember that the only filter that the RTL SDR has on it, let's hit mute, because it's got it going in my ear. The only filter that we've got for the RTL SDR is the antenna itself. That's the only thing that's filtering out the noise. So I'm only using RG58. I'm not using 213 or L400 or LR400, whatever it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. So there could be noise coming into the coax. I do have it in a metal box, but that metal box, if you noticed, wasn't grounded. So there's lots of places where there could be noise. Even RF around that metal box could be causing the noise around here. So it looks like VK1RSB is a bit of a failure. We can't receive it here, or if we are, it's way off somewhere, or it's under the noise. Who knows? I also tried VK2RSY with the same outcome. There really wasn't anything there. So we're struggling to get anything here. So I think what I might do is I might move to Whisper. Whisper will pick up signals way under the noise that you can barely see on the waterfall display. So I think that might be our best bet. So next episode, see me set up Whisper and let's see if we can get a signal.